Ladies and gentlemen, when evil people realize that you have uncovered their true nature, their first instinct is not to admit fault or take responsibility. It is to manipulate even more aggressively. They do this because their entire existence revolves around control, deception, and keeping others in a state of confusion. The moment they sense that their mask is slipping, they go into overdrive, deploying every psychological tactic they can to maintain dominance over the situation. One of their primary methods is distorting reality. They will twist facts, rewrite history, and strategically omit key details to make it seem as if you are mistaken or misinformed. They are masters at bending the truth just enough to create doubt in your mind, making you question whether what you saw, heard, or felt was even real. This is not an accident. This is calculated manipulation designed to keep you second-guessing yourself. They also become more aggressive in their emotional tactics. If they used to subtly control you with guilt or passive-aggressive behavior, now they escalate. They will say things like, "I can't believe you would think that about me," or "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me." These statements are not genuine expressions of hurt, but strategic moves to divert attention from their wrongdoing and make you feel like the one who has done something wrong. Another sign of intensified manipulation is their sudden change in behavior. They may switch between kindness and cruelty, leaving you emotionally exhausted and confused. One moment, they are overly affectionate, acting as if nothing is wrong, showering you with praise or even gifts. The next moment, they are cold, distant, or even overly hostile. This push and pull dynamic is meant to destabilize you emotionally, keeping you trapped in a cycle of seeking their approval while fearing their rejection. If they sense that you are close to breaking free from their influence, they may also resort to playing the role of the changed person. They will promise to be better, claim that they have realized their mistakes, and may even offer grand gestures of apology. But this is rarely genuine. Instead, it is a last-ditch effort to regain control and pull you back into their web. The moment they feel safe again, their old behaviors resurface, often worse than before. They may also try to manipulate the people around you, spreading lies or half-truths to discredit you before you have a chance to expose them. They work behind the scenes, painting themselves as the victim and you as the villain. This way, even if you speak out, they have already planted doubt in others' minds. At its core, this intensified manipulation is a fear-based response. Evil people thrive in the shadows, and when you shine a light on them, they panic. They know that their control over you is slipping, and their only chance of survival is to create as much chaos, confusion, and doubt as possible. But once you recognize these tactics for what they are, you take away their power. The key is to stay firm, trust your own perception of reality, and refuse to be pulled back into their web of lies. Gaslighting is one of the most insidious and effective weapons that manipulative and deceitful people use when they realize that you have uncovered their true nature. It is a psychological tactic designed to make you question your own reality, perception, and even your sanity. When evil individuals sense that they are being exposed, they do not try to correct their behavior or take accountability. Instead, they go on the offensive, attempting to rewrite history, distort facts, and make you doubt what you know to be true. It often starts subtly. They deny things they have said or done, even when you have clear proof. If you confront them about something they did, they might respond with absolute certainty, saying, "That never happened," or "You're imagining things." Even if you have text messages, emails, or witnesses to back up your claims, they will continue to deny and deflect, making you wonder if perhaps you misunderstood or misremembered. This is a deliberate effort to shake your confidence in your own mind. As gaslighting escalates, they begin to erode your trust in yourself. They twist past conversations, claiming they said things differently than you remember. They will say things like, "I never said that," or "You're taking my words out of context," even when you recall their words exactly. If you point out contradictions in their behavior, they will insist that you are overreacting, being too sensitive, or misunderstanding their intentions. Over time, this constant invalidation of your experiences can create self-doubt, making you hesitant to trust your own thoughts and emotions. Another common gaslighting tactic is shifting blame. Instead of addressing the real issue, they will flip the script and make it about you. If you call them out for lying, they will say, "Why are you always accusing me of things? You're so paranoid." If you express hurt over their behavior, they will accuse you of being dramatic or irrational. This forces you to defend yourself rather than focus on their wrongdoing, effectively taking the spotlight off their actions. They also use gaslighting to control how others perceive the situation. They might tell your mutual friends or family members that you are being irrational, making things up, or going through an emotional phase. By doing this, they create a false narrative where they appear to be the calm, rational one while you seem unstable or unreasonable. This isolates you further, making it harder to find support or validation from others. Over time, gaslighting wears down your confidence and mental clarity. You may start second-guessing your instincts, questioning whether you're being too harsh or unfair. You may feel anxious and confused, unable to trust your own memory or judgment. This is exactly what they want. The more you doubt yourself, the easier it is for them to maintain control over you in the situation. The most dangerous aspect of gaslighting is that it is often gradual and persistent. It does not happen overnight. It builds slowly, chipping away at your perception until you no longer feel certain of what is real. You begin to rely on them for clarity, seeking their approval or reassurance because your own sense of reality has been so deeply shaken. This creates a psychological dependence where even though you may feel something is wrong, you struggle to break free because your mind has been conditioned to question itself. The only way to counteract gaslighting is to trust yourself unconditionally. Keep records of important conversations, write things down, and remind yourself that your feelings and perceptions are valid. Seek support from people who truly have your best interests at heart, those who can affirm what you already know to be true. The moment you stop engaging with the gaslighter's mind games and refuse to question your reality, their power over you begins to crumble. When evil people realize that you have figured them out, they immediately shift their tactics to playing the victim. They understand that the best way to divert attention from their wrongdoing is to reverse the roles and make it seem as if they are the ones who have been wronged. This is not an act of genuine pain or remorse. It is a calculated move designed to manipulate your emotions and the perceptions of those around you. They begin by rewriting the story. Instead of acknowledging what they have done, they twist the narrative so that they appear to be the ones suffering while painting you as the aggressor. If you call them out for their lies, betrayal, or toxic behavior, they will respond with statements like, "I can't believe you would accuse me of that," or "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me." These words are not meant to resolve the issue but to make you feel guilty for standing up for yourself. They become emotional when necessary, using tears, anger, or exaggerated expressions of hurt to make you second-guess your stance. They may suddenly act heartbroken as if your confrontation has deeply wounded them. They may cry, sulk, or withdraw, hoping that you will feel bad enough to comfort them instead of holding them accountable. If they see that you are unmoved, they escalate, making public displays of distress to gain sympathy from others. They also seek out allies by spreading their version of the story before you have a chance to tell the truth. They approach mutual friends, colleagues, or family members, claiming that they have been unfairly treated, misunderstood, or betrayed by you. They say things like, "I don't know why they're doing this to me," or "I've always been there for them and now they're turning against me." Their goal is to make sure that when you finally speak out, people have already been conditioned to see you as the bad guy. They take past situations, no matter how unrelated, and use them to justify their victimhood. If you have ever made a mistake or had an argument with them before, they will bring it up as proof that you have always been unfair to them. They may dig up old grievances, exaggerating them, or completely fabricating details to make it seem like you have been the problem all along. This technique is meant to make you feel like you have no right to hold them accountable because, according to them, you are just as flawed. When they see that you are not responding to emotional manipulation, they resort to subtle threats. They may say things like, "I don't know how I'm going to recover from this," or "I just feel like disappearing." These statements are not genuine cries for help, but tactics designed to make you feel responsible for their well-being. They know that if they make you feel guilty enough, you will shift your focus away from their wrongdoing and onto saving them instead. In some cases, they escalate further, using their supposed victimhood to punish you. They may start spreading rumors about you, framing you as an abuser, a liar, or a manipulator. They may block you, cut you off, or ignore you, not because they are genuinely hurt, but because they want you to feel guilty, confused, and desperate to fix things. This is a power play designed to make you chase after them and beg for their forgiveness, even when they are the ones who caused the harm. The truth is, these people are never victims. They only play the role when it serves them. They use victimhood as a shield to deflect blame and as a weapon to manipulate others into siding with them. Once they get what they want, whether it's your apology, your silence, or the sympathy of others, they drop the act and continue their toxic behavior as if nothing happened. The best way to handle this tactic is to refuse to engage. Do not allow their guilt-tripping, emotional outbursts or public displays of distress to distract you from the truth. Stay firm in your knowledge of what they have done, and do not let their performance make you doubt yourself. A person who is truly a victim does not need to manipulate, lie, or seek to destroy others to prove their pain. Recognizing this difference is what ultimately takes away their power. When evil people realize that you know the truth about them, one of the most effective tactics they use is isolation. They understand that their power over you weakens when you have a strong support system, people who can affirm your reality and remind you of who you are. So, they begin a systematic effort to cut you off from those who could help you see through their deception. This is not always obvious at first. Sometimes it is slow and subtle, a gradual poisoning of your relationships until one day you find yourself alone, with no one to turn to. The first way they do this is by controlling the narrative. They go to the people around you, your friends, family, colleagues, and start spreading misinformation before you even realize what's happening. They frame themselves as the victim and you as the villain, planting seeds of doubt in others' minds so that when you finally speak up, people have already been conditioned to question your credibility. They say things like, "I don't know what's going on with them lately," or "I'm really worried about them. They've been acting strange," subtly suggesting that you are unstable, overly emotional, or even dangerous. The goal is to ensure that when you need support, the people around you hesitate to believe you. Another method they use is creating conflict between you and your loved ones. They might tell you that certain people have been speaking negatively about you behind your back, twisting words, or fabricating entire conversations. They will say things like, "I just thought you should know that so-and-so doesn't really have your best interest at heart," or "I overheard them say something awful about you." This puts you in a position where you either confront the person and risk damaging the relationship, or internalize the false information and begin to withdraw on your own. Either way, they succeed in driving a wedge between you and those who care about you. They also find ways to monopolize your time and attention. They might suddenly require constant support, making you feel guilty for spending time with anyone else. If you try to go out with friends or visit family, they will create drama, pick a fight, or act as if they are deeply hurt by your absence. They may pretend to be sick, depressed, or in crisis whenever you plan to be around others, forcing you to choose between their needs and your own relationships. Over time, this conditioning makes you hesitate to reach out to others because you know it will lead to conflict. If they sense that someone in your life is beginning to see through their manipulation, they target that person directly. They may discredit them in your eyes, saying things like, "I just don't think they're a good influence on you," or "They're just jealous and trying to turn you against me." If that doesn't work, they create situations where the person feels unwelcome, uncomfortable, or even attacked, driving them away so they no longer pose a threat to the control they have over you. Social isolation is not just about controlling your relationships, it is also about controlling your perception of reality. When you are cut off from people who can offer an outside perspective, it becomes easier for them to manipulate your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. They can gaslight you without resistance, distort events without contradiction, and keep you trapped in their web of lies without interference. The more alone you feel, the more dependent you become on them for validation and guidance, which is exactly what they want. Over time, this isolation takes a deep psychological toll. You start to feel disconnected, not just from others, but from yourself. You question your instincts, your memories, and your ability to trust anyone. Loneliness sets in, and with it a sense of hopelessness. You may even begin to believe that no one cares about you, when in reality the people who do care have been systematically pushed away. This is by design. The ultimate goal of their isolation tactics is to make you feel so vulnerable and lost that you are forced to rely on them, giving them complete control over your emotions, choices, and even your identity. The only way to break free from this kind of manipulation is to recognize it for what it is and reclaim your connections. Reach out to the people you have lost touch with, even if you feel embarrassed or uncertain. If someone warned you about this person in the past, consider that they may have seen the truth before you did. Most importantly, remember that true love, friendship, and family do not require isolation. They thrive in openness, trust, and mutual respect. The moment you begin rebuilding those connections, you weaken the grip they have over you, and their power starts to fade. When evil people realize that you have uncovered their true nature, they enter a state of panic. Their carefully constructed image, their lies, and the control they once had over you are all at risk of collapsing. This is when they resort to desperate power plays, manipulative, aggressive, and often unpredictable behaviors designed to regain dominance. These power plays are not about resolving the situation or making amends. They are about ensuring that you do not escape their influence. They will do whatever it takes to reassert control, no matter the cost. One of their first moves is to intensify their emotional manipulation. If they used subtle tactics before, they now become extreme. They may shift between kindness and cruelty with alarming speed, acting sweet and apologetic one moment and cold and punishing the next. They do this to keep you emotionally unstable, to make you second-guess your decision to break free. If they sense that you are pulling away, they might suddenly become the perfect partner, friend, or leader, saying all the right things, making grand gestures of love or friendship, promising change, or even crying and pleading for another chance. But this is not real growth or transformation. It is a performance designed to pull you back in. If kindness and charm do not work, they escalate to intimidation. They may raise their voice, make veiled threats, or use aggressive body language to reassert dominance. They might remind you of past favors they have done for you, implying that you owe them loyalty or obedience. They may try to make you afraid of what will happen if you walk away, warning you that you will regret it or that no one else will ever care about you the way they do. This is an act of desperation, a last-ditch attempt to make you doubt yourself and submit to their control. Another common power play is the use of guilt. They will remind you of everything they have supposedly done for you, painting themselves as the selfless person who has always had your best interests at heart. "After all I've done for you, this is how you treat me," or "I was always there for you, and now you're turning against me," are phrases they will use to make you feel like the villain. The goal is to manipulate your sense of morality, to make you feel so guilty that you abandon your own needs just to keep the peace. If guilt does not work, they shift to public image control. They will attempt to rewrite the story, making themselves appear as the victim and you as the aggressor. They may spread rumors about you, telling others that you are unstable, irrational, or even abusive. They may twist the facts of the situation, making it seem like they are the one being unfairly attacked. They do this because they know that if they can control how others see you, they can isolate you, making it harder for you to stand up against them. If all else fails, they may resort to outright sabotage. They will look for ways to harm your reputation, interfere with your job, or disrupt your personal life. If they know any of your weaknesses, they will use them against you. They may try to ruin relationships you have with other people, making sure you feel alone and unsupported. They will stop at nothing to make sure you regret ever challenging them. These desperate power plays reveal the truth about them. They never cared about fairness, love, or respect. They only cared about control. The more erratic and aggressive they become, the clearer it is that they feel their power slipping away. They know they are losing their grip, and they are scrambling to do anything they can to pull you back under their influence. The most important thing to remember in these moments is that their desperation is proof of your strength. The fact that they have to resort to these tactics means that you are waking up, that you are no longer falling for their manipulation. Do not be swayed by their sudden kindness, their threats, or their attempts to rewrite the truth. Stand firm in what you know, hold your boundaries, and refuse to play their game. Once you stop reacting to their power plays, they lose their ability to control you. And when they realize they can no longer manipulate you, they will either retreat or self-destruct under the weight of their own lies. Energetic warfare is one of the most insidious and invisible tactics that evil people use when they realize that you have uncovered their true nature. Unlike direct confrontation, which relies on words, actions, or manipulation, energetic warfare operates on a deeper, more subtle level. It is an attempt to drain your energy, cloud your thoughts, and keep you emotionally, mentally, and even physically exhausted. The goal is simple: to keep you weak, confused, and vulnerable so that you cannot fight back effectively. This form of psychological attack begins with their presence. Even when they are not actively speaking or engaging with you, they carry a heavy, oppressive energy that lingers in your space. You might notice that you feel anxious, uneasy, or even physically drained after spending time around them. This is because their energy is intentionally disruptive, filled with negativity, deceit, and low vibrations that clash with your natural state of peace and clarity. They project their own darkness outward, hoping that it will weigh you down and pull you into their emotional chaos. One of the primary ways they engage in energetic warfare is through emotional dumping. They unleash their negativity onto you, forcing you to absorb their stress, anger, and frustration. They may call you unexpectedly just to vent about their problems, leave long messages filled with drama, or bombard you with complaints about their life. Every interaction with them feels like an emotional drain, as if they are sucking the life force out of you. They do not care how this affects you. Your exhaustion is their fuel, your confusion is their power. They also engage in passive-aggressive attacks, sending out negative energy without directly stating their intentions. This can take the form of silent treatments, cold stares, or sarcastic remarks meant to undermine your confidence. You might walk into a room and instantly feel tension, even though nothing is being said outright. These subtle forms of hostility are designed to create an atmosphere of unease, keeping you on edge and second-guessing yourself. Another tool in their energetic warfare is fear projection. They know that fear is one of the most powerful ways to manipulate a person's energies, so they plant seeds of doubt and insecurity in your mind. They might suggest that you will never succeed without them, that you are making a huge mistake by walking away, or that no one else will support you. These statements might seem small, but they carry a heavy energetic charge. Over time, they create a sense of uncertainty and self-doubt, making you question your own strength and decisions. Sleep disruption is another major tactic. Have you ever noticed that after a particularly toxic interaction, you struggle to sleep at night? Your mind races, replaying conversations, analyzing their behavior, and trying to make sense of it all. This is not a coincidence. Evil people intentionally create chaos to disrupt your inner peace. They know that if they can keep you exhausted, you will be less able to think clearly, set boundaries, or defend yourself. They thrive on your fatigue because a tired mind is easier to control. Their energetic attacks can even extend beyond direct interactions. They may talk about you behind your back, spreading negativity in ways you might not immediately see. But energy does not need to be physically present to affect you. If they are constantly speaking ill of you, focusing negative thoughts on you, or harboring resentment towards you, you may begin to feel a heaviness in your own life. This is why, even after cutting ties with a toxic person, you might still feel their presence lingering in your mind and emotions. Breaking free from energetic warfare requires conscious effort. It is not enough to simply walk away. You must reclaim your energy and protect your space. This means setting firm emotional and mental boundaries, refusing to engage in their chaos, and practicing energetic cleansing. Meditation, deep breathing, and spending time in nature can help clear away the toxic energy they have left behind. You must also be mindful of where you direct your attention. The more you focus on their actions, the more power you give them. Instead, focus on yourself, your healing, your growth, and your peace. Evil people rely on draining others to sustain themselves. When you cut off their energy supply by refusing to engage, they become powerless. They will try harder at first, desperate to regain control, but if you remain firm in your boundaries, they will eventually fade away. Your energy is your greatest weapon. When you reclaim it, you take back your power, and they lose the ability to manipulate and control you. When evil people realize that you have uncovered their true nature, they do not apologize, change, or take accountability. Instead, they escalate their manipulation, intensify their mind games, and use every tactic they can to regain control. Whether through gaslighting, playing the victim, isolation tactics, desperate power plays, or energetic warfare, their goal remains the same: to keep you confused, drained, and under their influence. But the moment you recognize these patterns, you reclaim your power. Awareness is their greatest weakness because their control thrives in secrecy and deception. The more you understand their tactics, the less effective they become. No matter how much they try to distort reality, turn others against you, or make you doubt yourself, the truth remains: you are stronger than their manipulation. Breaking free requires more than physical distance. It demands emotional and energetic detachment. It means refusing to engage in their games, setting unshakable boundaries, and prioritizing your peace over their chaos. It means choosing to heal instead of staying trapped in their cycle of control. In the end, they will self-destruct under the weight of their own lies. Their desperate attempts to manipulate, sabotage, and dominate will eventually backfire. The only question is whether you will still be standing there when it happens, or if you will have already moved on, thriving in the freedom they never wanted you to have.